Hello, good morning, and welcome to this very special edition of the Magento Association Podcast that's being produced in combination with Hello Moxie. I am so excited to be putting together this very special episode on behalf of the Magento Association and to feature this amazing woman in the Magento community, Melanie Prange. Melanie, how are you today? Welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here with you, Nicole. I'm very glad and I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to talk to you. So, I hear that you love to hike. Is this true?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
When I moved to Austria, I started hiking and I just love it.
Yeah. What is it that you love so much about hiking? What is it
it
you enjoy so much?
for me, it's about being in the nature and just being there without thinking about anything else. So it's
Mm.
like calming down for me. And
Yeah.
just being there, sometimes also only with myself and my dog. And that's
Mm.
just great. And I mean, if you are climbing to a mountain, you get such a different view. And that's also something I really love about it.
Yes. And the mountains in Austria are stunning.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite hike that you love to go on regularly?
Yes, when I used to live in Austria, I loved to climb to the Kleine Sonnstein at the Traunsee. It's
Okay.
great because it's not that difficult, but you have an awesome view, and you see the Traunstein and the Traunsee, and it's just amazing.
Oh, I love that. I have this hike that's near my home that I go to regularly that's around a lake, and I love to hike as well. In fact, I just got back from a trip to visit my mom, and she lives near one of our national parks here in the States. It's called Zion National Park.
Oh wow! I
And
saw
it
pictures
is,
of it.
oh,
It looks awesome.
it's amazing. And so every year we go visit her in the summer and we hike the Narrows hike. It's been like this family tradition. And this year was the fourth year we did it. Literally exactly a week ago, I was hiking in the Narrows. And it's just such an incredible hike. And we look forward to it every year. You get to basically you're hiking in the river, upriver in this like slot canyon. And it's just so stunning. So I love that you love to hike. I love that I find the same pleasure in hiking. I think whenever I'm on a hike, it really helps me kind of like romanticize the mundane, if you
Mhm.
will, and like really enjoy and experience like very simple pleasures. And it's just such a great reset. What's your favorite hike you've ever done? Is it the one you just mentioned, or is there another hike that you've done that you just adore?
Mm, I don't know. It's difficult to decide because every hike was somehow special. Maybe one day hike we did near Graz in the past some years ago was really special for me because it wasn't that easy and it was when I started hiking. And so I was really proud afterwards that I did it. And the view was stunning. And there was a little house at the top of the mountain. And they were singing inside, having fun, and the atmosphere was just so amazing and special. So I guess that was one of my special hikes
Mm.
then.
Very cool. Someday I will get to Austria and I'll hike one of those mountains.
You have
So
to give me a call then.
yes. Well, I would love for you. So you are I realized we need to introduce you. We talked all about hiking and we need to talk about you. So you are the CEO of MSTAGE, an e-commerce agency that's based in Austria. And I would love for you to tell our listeners just a little bit more about who you are. You love to hike. You're the CEO of MStage, but tell us a little bit more about your agency and what's lighting you up right now.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm one of the CEOs at MStage.
Mhm.
I'm doing this together with my colleague. We are located in Austria. We have two offices there in Wels and in St. Pölten. We are there till I think 15 years, so quite a
Wow.
while. And to sum it up, we love what we do. We really are into e-commerce. We love working with our clients for years. I guess that's also something really special of us. We really have long-term relationships with our customers. We like to optimize their web shops and not just launching them.
Mm.
And yeah, we started with Magento. We are still into Magento and we love to work with it. Moreover, we are doing things like data-driven growth, optimization, and so on. So yeah, everything around e-commerce, you are right to work with us. And our team is just awesome. And I love to work with them.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how much your company has grown. And, I think you're one of the largest e-commerce agencies in the EU, in Europe, and recently won an e-commerce award, the Hermes Prize, correct? Am I getting that right? Is that
Yes, some years ago, we won the Hermes Prize as a company led by a woman. So
very
that was really
cool?
special for me. And also, it was such a great event. It was in Vienna. We
Mm,
went to the Hofburg. Everyone wore great dresses. The location was just awesome. And we
yeah.
were very proud to get that. Also because there's a high amount of women in our company. And
Mm.
so we definitely want this for all these awesome women. And that was just great.
Congratulations. That's amazing. What's it like, or what do you think makes being a woman leader in e-commerce and tech? What do you think that's so special or unique about that specifically that you bring to your position?
It's difficult for me. It's not that special because it's
Mm.
just, I haven't planned to be there. It just came naturally. And I also see a lot of awesome women in tech,
Yeah.
but it's not the industry where it's normal, unfortunately. But I think I have just this passion for e-commerce, which
Mm,
brought me there, and also a lot of people who supported me.
mm.
So I have never planned to be in this leadership role in e-commerce, but I'm loving it. And there were some moments in my career who led me there, and now I'm happy to be there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you mentioned that you had some allies who supported you. So, and I will say my own experience too, being part of the Magento Association is that there have so many incredible allies within the Magento community that have supported me in my career, who have given me opportunities to
Mhm.
speak and to share, and it's been such a wonderful gift. Um, and I think there's something about the like Magento open source, the ethos of that community. It's very democratic and open and inclusive in general. And so I would love to hear from you. Like, what do you think it takes from your experience with people who have supported you, the allies that have supported you? What does it take to be a good ally?
Openness. So
Mm,
you shouldn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man
yeah.
because it shouldn't. It's a person who
Mhm.
is interested into this kind of industry, and it doesn't matter which gender this person has. It has the same passion. So I think there shouldn't be this difference. I'm
Mhm.
happy that we have alliance like women in e-commerce and so on. That's great to have it because actually nowadays we need it, but hopefully in some time we don't need it anymore because every young woman should just do what she wants to do, and we
Mm,
should encourage them to do that, no matter which industry it is. Yeah, I've been to an event, I think in January, with some of my colleagues, and I remember we were standing in Berlin at this tech fair, and she turned around to me and said, "Wow, I really didn't realize how male dominated this space still is." And we were looking around, and she was right. There were a lot of men. And it sometimes also hit me because I've gotten so used to our MSTAGE team that I sometimes also forget how rare that balance still is.
mm.
And that's also why I love formats like Women in Tech or our Slack channel in the Magento Association, because it's a good way to encourage more women to step into the spotlight and show that they are there, because there are a lot of incredible women. They just have to show them themselves.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I think seeing people in leadership roles like you are, and the fact that you have such a diverse team on,
Mhm.
within your company is huge. I know I worked early in my career for a woman-owned company for many years,
Mhm.
and the entire executive team was female. It was incredible. And I didn't even think it's like one of those things. It's just because when you just see it, you just don't think about it. You just see what's possible for you because you see them doing it, kind of a thing. So, like, you be leading the way that way is probably supporting so many other women that you don't even realize or think about, right? Because they're seeing you and they're seeing what's possible for them.
Mhm.
So I love that. That's really cool. And I also love what you shared too about um it's interesting, like you shared that eventually, the women in e-commerce, communities may not be needed because it's just going to become so natural that there will
Mhm.
be more women in that. What do you think needs to change for that to happen?
I think we need more role models, like you
Mhm.
said, that we see that it's possible and that it's not that hard, that if you have the passion, it's easy.
Yeah.
Um, and I think also that sometimes maybe there are women in tech. They are not that loud. So maybe
Yes.
sometimes just be louder to show that you are there. I mean, I met a lot of incredible women on e-commerce events and also in the Magento Association. So they are there. Just say that you are there and show you as a role model. And then I'm sure that a lot of incredible women will follow.
Yes, be loud. I love that. Take up space, right? Oh my
Ex-
gosh, that's so true. Why do you think it is so important to have more women and minorities in e-commerce? Speaking of,
Um,
why is it so important?
Because I think the mix of different people are very valuable because they are bringing different views into a project and also different strengths. So
Mm,
I can see that because I am in the management with with a man, and
yeah.
it's a perfect fit, I would say, because we have different strengths. We divide our things which fits perfectly to us, and we see that this combination works very, very well. And I'm sure that each of us without the other person wouldn't be that successful than in this combination.
Mm.
And yeah, that's just great, and it works very well for MSTAGE. I can't imagine to work in another way, I have to say. So.
That's so beautiful. I've experienced that too with some of the male colleagues that I've worked with who've supported Hello Moxie. It's
Mhm.
so great to have just a diverse opinions that are different than yours and hearing a different perspective with different experience. It makes the product and the service that you're creating so much richer and so much more innovative. You're able to tap into more diverse strengths and opinions and experiences. And it's those differences that can create a richer, more innovative product and service. I totally love that and totally agree.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also like maybe sometimes female leaders are a little bit more empathetic. And
Mm,
also at least that's what I experienced for young women, it was easier to talk to me than to a male leader, at least at the beginning of their career. And
mhm.
I love just to encourage them to achieve something, because I think leadership can't be copy pasted from one person to another person. That's just not possible. It has to be shaped around people. And I think, therefore, it's also great at our company that we have two leaders, because some people can talk easier to me, others easier to my colleague, and that's just great to have this opportunity to use that and give everyone the possibility to develop and to grow in the company like they want to.
Lovely. So true. I wonder for you, I loved what you shared earlier about women just need to be louder.
Mhm.
As you look back on your career and you just built this beautiful career, you're running this very successful agency doing incredible work for your clients. I can feel the passion that you have for
Mhm.
e-commerce. It's so inspiring. What was your journey like to finding your own voice and being loud?
I had maybe two moments in my career that led me into this position I am now. So I guess one moment was when I was just thrown into the cold water. So I worked as a consultant and my team, they just got sick. And I got this call and they told me, Melanie, we are sorry, but you have to run the workshop tomorrow by your own. We cannot just cancel it. And I was there, well, okay, now I have to fake a cold by myself. I cannot do that. And of course, that was no possibility at all. So I tried to calm down and remembered, okay, I did almost all the preparation by myself. I've been part into the former workshops. And so I said, like in German, we say Augen zu und durch, like in English, just do it. And so I was traveling to this workshop and I was standing there. My heart was pounding and I was convinced everyone in the room could hear it. I was so nervous. And I would lie if I would say it was super smooth. So the first 10 minutes, they were very shaky. But then I would say I found somehow my rhythm. So they asked
Mm.
questions, I knew the answers, and we had such a great discussion with a great output for the project. And by the end, honestly, I didn't want it to stop. It was so much fun. And at the beginning, I was so scared. And so this was the moment where I started to step somehow also into the spotlight and had fun being there.
Mm.
And I decided to say more yes to things that scared me at the beginning. And that was really important. And I think that also led me to the next turning point into my career because some years ago, I said yes to my first keynote. It was in Vienna. And afterwards, our two founders invited me for lunch to a beer garden in Vienna for having a Wiener Schnitzel, like you should have it in Vienna, of course,
Uh-huh, yeah.
because they wanted to celebrate it with me. And they were cheerleading me the whole keynote. We were sitting in the front row, and it was just an awesome day. And so we were sitting there in this beer garden, halfway through our meal, and then they totally casually said, "Hey, Melanie, we would like you to take on the CEO role of MSTAGE." And I was there, no way. What if I fail? I can do that. They have so much experience. I haven't, and so on. But in the end, I said proudly yes. And here I am now, CEO of MSTAGE. And
Wow.
it was great. And nowadays, I really love what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I think looking back, I've realized that most of my biggest grow moments came when I felt somehow unprepared. So, but I said yes anyway, although I would say everything in me screamed no. Um, and yeah, maybe I started before I felt ready and became ready in that way, and that changed a lot. Yeah, and honestly, still sometimes I cannot believe it because there are still these moments when someone is saying, that's something the boss has to decide. And then it hits me because I said, oh, right, that's me. But that's a good feeling that they have this trust in my person, that I can carry that responsibility. And I'm not alone. I mean, I have this awesome team around me, and therefore, I guess everything is possible.
So many great things that you shared there. Oh my gosh, I love all of it. So, um, my first question for you is, do you still get scared?
Yes, of course. I'm still
It
scared.
never goes away, right? It doesn't matter.
No, I don't think that it. error goes away. I was also scared before our podcast because it's the first podcast I'm doing, but it's also a thing I thought, okay, I have to say yes because
Yeah.
every year I need to do something new. So here we are.
Oh, and I'm so glad you said yes because this conversation is just amazing. So, one of the things you said, and as you were sharing your story that stood out to me, is that in that moment when you were thrown into this workshop and
Mhm.
you had to do it on your own, you mentioned that you remembered that you knew what to do. Like you had this moment where you remembered, oh, I'm prepared. These are all the things
Yeah.
I've done to get to this moment. And I think that's such great advice for someone who's maybe thrown into something they feel unprepared is to take a step, take a moment to just
Mhm.
reflect and remember this is what I know and this is how I've prepared for this, right? To kind of give yourself some confidence going into it. So I thought
Yeah.
that was really special that you did that. And I also loved how you shared that just do it. Like when I was in this hike with my daughter last week,
Mhm.
we were in the Narrows and then we were hiking in a river. And a lot of points in the river, you have to cross the river. And there was this point where she had to cross the river and she
Mhm.
couldn't see in front of her. So it was like the water was really murky and it was maybe up to her knees. She couldn't see the rocks and you don't know, like there's rocks on the bottom of the river. And so you
Mhm.
just, and she turns to me and she says, Mom, I don't know which way to go. And without hesitating, I told her, you won't know until you go. Like you just have to take the step. And I think that you highlighted that so beautifully in your story is that just do it. Like you're going to be unprepared, you're going to feel afraid, you're not really going to know, you're going to feel uncertain, but you don't know until you take that step and then the next step and then the next step and then you just build on it and that's how you gain confidence. And like you came out of that and you knew you were afraid and you came out of it loving it. And so what did that teach you the next time? It's okay to be afraid. And I love this at the same time, like that experience just kind of builds on itself as you step into more brave and scary kind of
Yeah,
situations. So that's
absolutely.
really beautiful. I also love what you shared about how you had two cheerleaders for your first keynote sitting watching you in the first row. And I think that just illustrated to me just how important it is that we have this team community to
Mhm.
support us, right? And
Right.
really cultivating and finding those people who are going to be like kind of like our courage companions or the people that are going to be there to help support us as we go. What have you, I know you also lead an e-commerce community, e-commerce horizons, and you've
Mhm.
done these really cool events and you're part of the Magento community. I would love to hear from you. What is it about community that is so important to you, and how has community shaped who you are as a leader?
For me, community is important because it's not company driven. It's really a people driven
Mm,
part where you can take part. And that's just great because there are so many individuals that share one passion and they just love to talk about that. And the event you mentioned, E-commerce Horizon, I'm organizing it with a friend, and it really started in a funny way because we used to work together and then we just became friends. So we have a lot of afterworks together and we share this passion for e-commerce and we're talking about e-commerce while having sushi and wine. And one day we were just talking about like, why are we doing this only together? Why aren't we talking with a lot more great people?
mm,
And so we had this idea to just start an e-commerce event because we couldn't find one in our area.
mm.
And 3 months later, we had the first event with about 70 persons, which
Wow.
was so great because we are coming from a smaller town, but there are so many great companies, so many great people, and to meet them there, it was just amazing. And now I think, yeah, some weeks ago we had the 8 e-commerce horizon. So the event exists now for 2 years,
Mm,
and this community became a little bit like meeting old friends. So
mm,
you're always exciting to meet the people and you have really great conversations. It's not about telling who's the best. It's really authentic and learning from your failure as well. And that's
mhm.
what community also means for me. It's not about showing who's the best on the market and who has achieved what, but it's about celebrating together what someone achieved and also learning from each other and helping each other. And yeah, that's just great that there exist so many great communities where you do this and have this. Yeah.
I love what you shared there about like the community helps you learn from your failures. You're absolutely right. There's a safety that you find in community
Mhm.
where you can really open up and in a different way than like, you know, certainly when you're with a client, right? Or in a
Exactly.
sales call where you're trying,
Yeah.
but within community where you can really kind of lean on each other and share your struggles together and then find solidarity and get support and hear other perspectives that maybe can help you solve some of the really difficult challenges that we're all facing right now, right? Like
Yeah.
it's definitely challenging. Which kind of like leads me to my next thing. I
Yes.
mean, I f- feel like we're facing so many headwinds in this industry.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm sure your clients are feeling that too. I don't know, at least in the States. It seems like there's a lot of global economic uncertainty right now. Tell
Mhm.
me are you experiencing that on your end and your clients? And what is your perspective on some of the headwinds that we're facing?
Of course, I think we are facing it also in Europe that everything takes a little bit longer.
Mm,
Everyone doesn't know how it develops. And so
mm,
everyone wants to make only certain decisions. But that's not
mhm.
possible, honestly, because no one knows the future. But we
Yeah.
try to give them faith into the future and give them possibilities how they can work. Like I told you, we are working with data driven growth, for example. So we are showing them how to make decisions based on data. And
Mhm,
not only on how they are feeling. And that's, I think, one way to go. And we also encourage them to take some risks because there
mhm,
are a lot of great possibilities nowadays, like with all this shift happens around AI. I mean, it's uncertain, of course, but it could be such a great possibility to grow. And we try to show that. And also, of course, yeah, to do not make pressure, of course. I mean, if someone is facing issues right now, we try to take the hand and show that we are a partner since a long time and that we are doing this together and
mhm.
finding solutions that really help. And that I also love about working with our clients because sometimes there's a better time, sometimes there are harder times, but we can do that together and we show that with our clients.
Yeah, and it's very clear because you've built these long-term relationships, there's such trust there. There's such trust.
Exactly.
And I can hear from you that trust has come from the fact that you are providing them with the data that they need to make really good decisions and helping them understand that and then providing the like honest, vulnerable, authentic support to say we're here with you to help you through.
Yeah. And I mean, we work with clients from different industries. So I would say
Mhm.
some clients are having a hard time, others are having a good
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
I mean, there were also hard times in the past. Like we are taking COVID, for example. It
Yeah.
was a really hard time for a lot of companies, but other companies had a lot of benefits. But what was special for me during this time, we had a lot of small stores who wasn't present online in that time to be seen online and they could survive during that time. And I really love that about my job because it was just more than e-commerce. We could really create
Mm.
impact for them um, by showing them possibilities how they can use the internet, e-commerce, and so on. And that's great that we can do that.
I love what you shared about it's more than e-commerce for them. It's like you're creating this vision of a greater future for their business and it goes
Exactly.
beyond and that as a partner you're there to help kind of co-create and execute on that vision, which is so lovely and beautiful. As you look ahead and look towards the future for e-commerce and just, business in general, what are you most excited that's happening right now in e-commerce? Or what are you most looking forward to? What do you kind of have your eye on that you're just like, ooh, I like
Uh,
this?
I love trying out everything around AI. I mean, it's
Mm,
like you hear it everywhere, and it could be annoying maybe to hear, oh, AI here, AI here. But I think there are so many great possibilities.
mm,
And I don't really make this, okay, now we can make processes faster and more efficient. I mean, more than that, because for me, AI can be a real door opener. I'm really excited what new business models will be there in the future if you have this AI first mindset, or how companies can rebuild themselves when we think what's possible with AI, not just with how they can develop processes, but what can they do now, what they couldn't before. And that could be, I don't know, maybe it's sometimes e-commerce can be annoying. You have all these category pages and you just scroll and scroll. And I mean, it's not that fun always to shop online, but I think there could be a great future that's not that annoying, but it that makes fun. So you could have fun for e-commerce and also to have it for everyone. Like, I don't know, my grandfather, for example, he's 94 and he's still checking every new web shop we are launching with MSTAGE with his
mm.
smartphone, which I love. And he's scrolling, of course, and he's checking it out. But when it comes to a checkout and so on, it's really exhausting for him. And then I'm more like his personal shopping guy. Okay, I have seen that in the internet. Can you shop that for me? And now I imagine something like in the future that he could just say to his digital shopping assistant that he needs a new trouser, and his shopping assistant knows that he's sitting a lot in his wheelchair, that he likes gray and blue as color and so on. And then smoothly he just gets, I don't know, 3 trousers, and he has to decide, one click, done, and it's sent to him. And it's then so easy also and tailored. And I think AI can really help to have this new shopping experience in the future. And I'm really excited to see what's coming, because right now I'm not really sure where it's developing. And I think no one really is. Everyone has some kind of idea. But I mean, reading the news, what's happening in AI the last week is wow. And then you have the next week and the next week, and more is coming.
Mhm.
It's really exciting and I love it. That's also why I started in e-commerce, because there's always something new. And now we really have a time that a lot of things change. And there could be a chance for a lot of companies to use that. Also, when it scares a little bit, of course.
Yeah, well, I love your optimism there. I think that's so beautiful. I mean, basically what you shared, that vision that you just shared of what would it be like for my grandfather to just in one click be able to make a
Mhm.
purchase. He doesn't have to browse. Cut out that and basically the AI is feeding him recommendations and knows him so well that it can recommend to him and all he has to do is just pick, click, and then it's done. He doesn't have to put in his shipping information or his credit card information and
Yeah.
all of that, which is, I mean, for people like me who are very busy and so many of us just don't have a lot
Mhm.
of time, that just creates such a really beautiful customer experience. Um, what do you think needs to change for a lot of these businesses so that they can prepare and be ready for that, to be able to use that sort of AI solution, that agentic kind of experience?
They have to tidy up, I would say, because a
Mhm.
lot of processes are, sorry to say it that way, they are just shit. And if you
Mm.
have a shitty process and just put AI on it,
Yeah.
it doesn't get really better. It's maybe then more efficient, but it's still not good. So
Yeah.
I think you really have to look where to use AI and where maybe you just have to rethink your processes and build better
Mhm.
processes, because I don't think that you need AI everywhere. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's just maybe now the time to have a look closely and rethink things. And maybe also sometimes a smart automation is enough to do a better process. You don't need AI everywhere because you have then this, okay, have AI there. That's not necessary, but you have to look closely. And then, of course, also without a good data, a good documentation, and so on, also AI won't work pretty well. So, yeah, have a look what you have now, tidy up it a little bit, do your homework, something like that, and then you can start off rethinking new things and building great things with AI. Um,
Mhm.
that should
I
be a good
love that.
starting point. And start with small things, with easy things, I guess. Sometimes we are looking at big processes and start with them, and then we are frustrated if it doesn't work like we would like to have it. So, in my opinion, it's easier to start with small steps, have a look at smaller things that are maybe do not have the biggest impact, but you have a success. And a success is always really important at the beginning with new things, to also have the people around you with you supporting what you are doing.
Such great advice. I love that baby step it. And you mentioned how important it is that you have the like kind of like the foundations in place before you're ready for those kinds of steps. Like the
Yes.
data has to be robust and clean, and there has to be like solid integration between your tech stack, right? So that everything can kind of work. And I love that it's just so practical and great advice to just like level set and be like, maybe not everything needs to have AI. Maybe there are certain things within the business that it's okay that it just be automated and it doesn't need AI, at least at this stage, right? Because I think sometimes people are like, we've got to make sure AI is everywhere. It's got to be
Yes.
every, but like, you're right. That maybe doesn't make sense, especially I think in the B2B world. For B2B specifically, which is very much built on legacy sales processes and very much human interaction because these sales are so complex a lot of the time and there's so much at stake. What would you recommend for folks there when it comes to embracing AI and how to use AI in their customer experience in through e-commerce?
B2B has a lot more complex processes, that's right, but they are more in the background. I think when it comes to customer experience, it's sometimes really similar to B2C because there are people behind. I mean, they know how they are shopping in their private life. They won't shop differently when they are shopping for a company. Of course, they are shopping more things and they are talking more about prices, tier prices, and so on. But I think the shopping experience shouldn't be that different. But I think you are right. B2B is sometimes also in e-commerce not that far like B2C. So B2C is sometimes more, they try things out, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. They try something new. And in B2B, they know what worked in the past and they stick to that because it worked. And of course, I mean, there are a lot of processes. You always order the same, why you should change this. But I think they should also think about how can we facilitate things for our customers and how can we be more than just a web shop where you can buy things. How can we provide them features that give them things they don't have in another web shop, because that's why they are coming back. It's not only the price, it's how they enable them, maybe giving them dashboards where they can see different things, give them marketing materials or what else, make it easy for them to shop, but also easy to find the right information they need for these really complex products they are selling.
That's such great advice. So, like making sure that you've got really solid data to share with them on the products that's really deep and robust, and thinking about what they need in their experience to help them make those decisions. Oh, so good. Melanie, I could talk to you all day. Oh, so you mentioned specifically something that I think a lot of us are kind of like really experiencing is how quickly that change is happening. The pace of change has been increasing so rapidly since with AI
Mhm.
specifically, it's just changing so quickly. And for a technology company like yours, and for many other technology companies that, listeners here who may be leading technology companies, I think there's a lot of stress and pressure. How do I keep up with all of this change? So, what is your advice on that? Like, how do you recommend? What are you guys doing at M Stage? How are you kind of like tackling this rapid pace of change and trying to keep up with it?
First of all, I don't think that you can keep up with it totally by your own. So I think it's always great to talk to people about it, because you can exchange your information and you get more information together, which what is always great. So therefore also communities are a great way to exchange this knowledge in these times, because together we are better, I would say. Go to events, talk to people, talk also to people in your team, maybe build task forces for different topics, and then have formats where you can exchange the information these task forces have and learn from each other. I think that's the only way to really build and keep up in this really fast times. And that's something I also found for myself. Sometimes I just go for lunch with other people and we talk about what is changing, what they are doing, what we are doing. And there are also agencies. So I think I like this word co-petition more than competition. So work together, although you are working in the same industry, or although you are all e-commerce agencies, you can profit from each other and help each other. And that's just a great way to work. We are belonging as MSTAGE to the economics group, which is something like a foundation of different agencies in the digital part. And that's also just a great way, because we have these formats like the leadership breakfast or company updates where everyone is taking part and we are sharing knowledge there. And that's awesome, because everyone helps each other without having this fear that someone can move faster than someone else.
So good. Co-opetition. Co-opetition. I love that. And I think that's something I've experienced firsthand in the Magento community at the Meet Magento events
Mhm.
specifically. I've been to quite a number of them. I go throughout the year. I love to go to them for this
Mhm.
very reason, is that it's such a unique environment where like these people who would be competitors in the real world are all coming and they're all learning from each other and they're all friends and they're all, supporting each other in this really beautiful way. And I think that's
Yes,
what's so
exactly.
remarkable about the Magento community. Yeah, like there's it's always had this kind of like communal ethos, which I think is why it's survived the way that it has, is because people need that in order to innovate and in order to stay ahead. So, lovely. Oh my gosh. This has been so amazing, Melanie. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been such an honor to host you and have you be my guest. And um I would love for you to share, like, where can people get a hold of you if they'd like to connect with you after the show?
I think easily at LinkedIn. Just search for my name and
Mhm.
I'm happy to connect, to share some insights, or maybe also to exchange knowledge in these fast times.
Love it. Love it. Well, I love the work that you're doing. It's incredible and so, so, so important. Thanks for being such an incredible transformational leader, especially in this space, for leading the way that you do with such, positivity and optimism and just passion. Your passion for e-commerce just comes through so loud and clear, and it's just such an inspiration. So thanks for leading the way that you do and for being my guest.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. We'll to those listening, stay tuned for the next Magento Association podcast. And we look forward to more wonderful conversations with lovely members of the Magento community.